Hello and welcome back to another vlog. If you're new here, my name is Melanie Steele and I write all things cozy, including non-fiction, and I'm currently writing my first cozy fantasy, which is called The Lunar Quartz Library, which I am hoping to have out later this year. So if you watched the Tuesday topic video, I'll pop a link up here. I was talking about the top 10 tips for neurodivergent people to work with their brain and not against it. And the bonus tip in that video was to honor the amount of spoons you have in any given day, i.e. to recognize your own energy levels, don't extend beyond that. I failed to take my own advice yesterday and today I am paying for it. I had the worst night's sleep. I feel so tired because I just pushed myself to do too much. I woke up yesterday morning and I had this kind of, I call it fidget energy. If you're someone who's like ADHD or something like that, you might understand this a bit more. But it's this feeling that I need to do something physical. So there was no writing yesterday. I needed to like move my body and do something. And I decided to channel this energy into cleaning. Hours and hours of cleaning, and at the time it felt good. Like I was like, yes, I'm moving my body, I'm kind of like working through its energy, and I felt okay. And then I crashed and I was so tired. I was very grateful that dinner was basically already done because it was leftover curry that had been frozen. I defrosted it, so I didn't have too much to do on that front other than reheat it. But all afternoon, I just felt so tired. But I mistakenly thought to myself, oh, it's fine. I'll have a good night's sleep and I'll wake up and, I'll be fine. Viewer, it was not fine. Despite all the kind of energy I had clearly spent yesterday on doing things, my body decided that it just did not want to sleep. And my mind was very much just alert and awake, and I had a terrible night's sleep, and now I just don't feel super great. So today I am actually going to honor my spoons, and I'm not going to try and do much of anything, including writing. All I have got done today, other than the obvious getting dressed and doing my hair, I have put a load of laundry on and I have started a loaf of bread in the bread maker. That's probably as much as I'm gonna get done. Not that anything else needs doing because I cleaned everything yesterday. There's plenty of time for me to get Act 1 finished. There's no hard deadline there, so having another day is not really the end of the world. So I thought we would just chat about stuff that is not writing, because why not? Tomorrow we are heading into town because I need to get my eyes tested. It has been many years since I've had my eyes tested. I have essentially a lazy left eye. The vision from this eye has always been poor because my brain has always preferred to look through my right eye. So that's not correctable. That's totally just a thing that I have and get on with. But what I have noticed is that I am starting to squint when reading smaller text. I come from a family of people who wear glasses other than my brother, but he's quite stubborn and he probably wouldn't wear them even if he actually bothered to go for an eye test. But that's a whole other story. But my mum wore glasses, my dad wears glasses, grandparents, so it's no surprise that now I have hit 41 next month that I possibly need glasses as well. So we're going to go through and get my eyes tested, see what that comes out as. I don't think it's going to be a terrible prescription. I think it's going to be quite minor. I can still read the print. It's just possibly a little fuzzy around some of the edges. But we will see what the optician says. And I'm also going to go get my eyebrows threaded because you can't really tell here because my eyebrows are very faint, but there is no shape to them. They are just very blocky and need doing. And I get to still stay on my no spend month because I have a loyalty card and I have all the stamps filled up so I can get this done for free. and getting my eyes tested is not a luxurious expense. I would count that as essential spending. So still very much on my no spend track this month. We are up to 22 days. It's actually been really interesting that a lot of stuff that I have my Amazon wish list is just gone. I don't even find myself looking at it. I think I've looked at it just a handful of times and I'm just like, it's like nice stuff. Like I wouldn't mind owning it, but the kind of allure it once had where I was really tempted to click, add to basket has just kind of dissipated. And I'm definitely thinking more now about things I'd like to purchase. And as I said previously, the kind of list of things that I have made that I would possibly like to consider getting when the month is over, I don't really want any of it anymore. So I have really personally enjoyed doing this challenge. If you are watching this for the first time or you haven't watched the other vlog, I'm just doing a new no spend challenge for my own personal spending. Obviously the mortgage still has to be paid, the bills have to be paid, food has to be purchased, but I'm just talking about not buying books and trinkets and just things for the sake of buying them. So 22 days and that has gone really well. What else? Oh yes, I have put a little list here because my brain is tired. I also want to look into booking some tickets to go see The Materialists next week. The Materialists is a new rom-com, in case you haven't seen advertised, where Pedro Pascal, Chris Evans, what's her name? Dakota Johnson. It is a rom-com and I'm excited because I'm looking back through like recent years and I just don't think there has been any real proper rom-coms in the cinema forever. They used to be so popular, especially all like the British ones like Notting Hill and whatnot. They would come out so often and they were great. And then I just feel past 5, maybe even 10 years, all the cinema has offered is just Marvel films. I'm not opposed to Marvel, like I'll sit and watch a Marvel film, or just things that are very like action orientated. I just feel that the rom-com has not been something that studios have wanted to take the chance on to release into actual cinema. Obviously there has been plenty of rom-coms that have gone straight to streaming service, and I've enjoyed those, but I thought it was very telling that finally a studio, or rather probably a collection of studios to share the risk, has decided to put one in the cinema and with big name stars. That's probably one of the only reasons that they have bothered to put it in cinema. I love Pedro Pascal. He is a fabulous human being and I'm excited to go see that. I think it came out on Wednesday, but obviously I'm not going to go see it during the week, and we want to go see it I think next Saturday or next Sunday. It is a 15, so hopefully that means there's not any screaming children or lots of families or anything. That hopefully they're going to see some other film. But yeah, I'm excited to go see that next weekend for sure. When I was thinking about the kind of lack of genre variants in films, I started thinking about how this is also an issue with books. This could just be my own personal experience because, we are all viewing the world through our own personal lens, but I feel like books, particularly books that are aimed at women, has all just been nothing but spicy kind of fantasy or romantasy and things that are like apocalyptic. I just feel everything is so dark right now that comes out and does really well. And I feel like they are the only books. I mean, yes, I'm talking about like BookTok and Bookstagram here, not the general population, I suppose, but it feels like they are the only books anyone wants to read or wants to talk about. And when I kind of see authors that are having this 6, 7, maybe even 8-figure success, they all write spicy. And I just kind of get into my head about it. I'm like, is it even possible to reach this level of success without writing spice? Just to be clear, I have 0 objections to spice. If you like spice, that's fantastic. Good for you. Go read it. No objections to it whatsoever. I just don't want to write it, and I don't really enjoy reading it. I find it cringe. I'm just going to be honest. I've always found it so cringe to read. But again, my opinion, you do you. I support you. Go read All the Spice. I just want there to be more variety than that. And I know there are books that are different genres. I know there's women's fiction, which is, it's not spicy or anything like that. But I'm just like, I want a bit more. I want it to just be a wider variety, and I want people to read things that are different. This is just turning into a rant, isn't it? I just want more things to kind of get to the top of the charts that are not spicy or apocalyptic or dark. I just want some nice light reads to get out there and people to be like, things don't have to be, absolutely terrible for things to be a good book. I think it's probably just as all entertainment is, a reflection of the times. We are living in some dark, perilous times. I don't even read the news anymore because it's too depressing. And as with kind of other forms like film, it always reflects the kind of current status of the world. And I think that's possibly why books with these themes are doing very well. It's a kind of catharsis that people read it. And obviously in these books, there is kind of resolution, and that can be satisfying to read when you're kind of living it for real life and it feels like there is no resolution. So I get it, I understand it, I just wish it was different. I just, I would like to see some different books and some different themes being explored. But yes, you'll absolutely never read a book from me that is dark or spicy. That is not for me. I prefer things that are more lighthearted and magical. And I'm sure there are people out there who feel the same. I'm hoping there's people out there who feel the same, because those are the people that I would like to read my book. Maybe I just need to, what's the expression? Find my tribe. Hopefully that is what I'm doing here on YouTube, that I will kind of build an audience of people who have similar taste, and similar thoughts and opinions on books, but we can only wait and see. So yeah, that's just my little rant there about the state of the book publishing industry. Speaking of books, I thought I would also share some of the non-fiction stuff I've been reading, because I'm still very much in a fiction slump. As my husband pointed out to me, I actually tend to read more fiction later in the year, and I will really go through it. But in the summer months, I just find that I tend not to. I don't know why, I just don't. But non-fiction is currently what I'm reading, and what I have here is this book, The Happy Writer. So this is one for my fellow writers and authors by Marissa, is it Maya or Maya? I haven't read any of her actual fiction books, but I know she's super popular. Can I think of a single title she's written? No, but absolutely Google her and you will see, and you'll probably recognize them. This book was oddly hard to come by. I had seen it advertised somewhere, and trying to find a copy was really bizarre. It's not old, it's not independently published or anything. I mean, that would probably make it easy, to be honest, because if they had independently published on Amazon, I could just order it. It is published by Fuel or Faywell and Friends, which is an imprint of Macmillan, Pam Macmillan. Obviously, Pam Macmillan operates, here in the UK as well as the US. Could not find a copy on Amazon that was actually, in their warehouse ready to send. Had to buy it via a third party, and it took absolutely forever to get here. They did not dispatch it for a whole week, which I found really weird. But anyway, got a copy. There wasn't even an ebook version of this either. I found that really weird. Like, everybody releases an ebook. The only reason I can think there is no ebook is because this paperback is a little bit different in its formatting. It has this kind of flap cover, which I don't know if I've ever seen on a paperback, but maybe that's the reason it's not in an ebook format. I don't know. But what I like about this is that it is not just a how to write kind of craft book. It has all different sections. So part 1 is about how to kind of fill your well with creativity so that you don't run into writer's block and things like that. Part 2 is about dealing with procrastination and setting goals, so the more kind of productivity side of writing. Part 3 is about the actual process and about how to make it more joyful so that, you know, it won't feel as difficult when you're going through it. And there's also sections about querying and publication if you want to go down the trad route. And it also ends on how to deal with certain challenges that you might find writing, like imposter syndrome, criticism, etc. And then there's just a couple of other tips at the end as well. But I haven't finished it, but I've been reading it and really enjoying it. Maybe if you're in the States, this is easier to find because it does say printed in the USA. And I would recommend it as a more kind of all-round book about writing and not just the actual process itself. And not related to writing, but maybe relevant if you are also over the age of 40 and watching this. This is the book that I waited forever for from the library, and it is Strong by Jacqueline Hooton, The Definitive Guide to Active Aging. She's on Instagram at Her Garden Gym. That's her kind of user. And she basically talks all about nutrition and exercise to maintain a strong body going into your 40s, 50s, 60s and beyond. It's a bit dry in places, I'm not going to lie, but there are some useful illustrations for like exercises you can do, and it does go into detail about, you know, having the proper form and stuff. And, you know, she gives you all the science behind aging, so it's very informative, but it is a little bit dry in places. I'm glad I got it from the library, put it that way. I don't think this is one that I want to purchase. The one that I did purchase is actually written by her daughter, Saffron, is this one, this cute little book, Strong Women Era. Saffron, I think, is in her 20s. So this book kind of, it felt a little more relevant in some ways. Obviously she's not talking about aging, but it felt a bit more beginner friendly, and also just kind of like, you know, it's like illustrated and everything. It just felt, this felt more of a fun read. This one was less about the science. This is more, I felt, motivational. It does have some exercises, but not many. Like if you want the exercises, her mum's book is the better one for that. But yeah, I just thought it was a nice little book, trying to get you motivated and inspired. If you want to be really inspired, go look at her Instagram account. I don't know her handle, but Saffron Hooton or Hooton. Her strength and core is amazing. Like the things that she can do, absolutely amazing, like crazy. And she wasn't always into fitness despite her mum being a physical trainer, so she has gone through a bit of a journey, but the amount she can lift, it's crazy insane. And when she does stuff on a pole and whatnot, absolutely wild. I couldn't ever imagine being that fit personally, but yeah, very inspiring. So yeah, those are kind of non-fiction books I have been reading. Hopefully maybe in a month, 2 months time, I'll be able to share some of the fiction that I've been reading, because this kind of slump I'm in will end. So yeah, this has just been lots of talking and chatting and less on writing. I'm not going to end it here because I've got a few more days until this is going to be uploaded, and I'm hoping that the next vlog clip I film, I will have finished Act 1 and done some actual writing. My plan is to do some writing on Sunday, and that should take me closer. And then, yeah, that is the goal, to finish the edits for Act 1 and move on to Act 2. So I hope you have enjoyed this slightly different clip to start with, and I will see you in the next one where hopefully future me has actually done some writing. Good morning, welcome to Tuesday. As you can see, I am out and about in the world for a change. Doesn't happen too often, but it does happen. So I have decided to come out and go to another library, not my local library. I just kind of fancy having a look at all the different kinds of books and just having a kind of rummage, a leaf through, which is actually quite difficult to do in my local library because it's really small. It's like the size of like someone's house, just the ground floor. It's lovely and charming, but often when I go, I'm the only person there, and the people on the sort of desk are very close by, and I just don't feel super comfortable. I just like looking through things. Like, this is all me, this is not them. I prefer the anonymity of a slightly bigger space, shall we say. So I've come a little bit further out to go to this library. It's still not the biggest, that is further out still. If I keep going down the road that I drove down to get here, I would eventually get to that one, but it's like another 10 miles and I'm not that I'm not that bothered to go to that one today. So this one struck the balance. It was slightly further out but not too far, has a bigger selection, and you know, I'm not going to feel like I'm the only person in there because it's open longer and they have more things going on here, so I can just happily look through things and no one's going to be, you know, right there on top of me. I don't have anything in particular I'm looking for. I always have a kind of list of authors I like to read, and I always like to look through different kind of non-fiction sections and just see what's there that looks like it could be fun. So without further ado, let's go check out the library. Okay, so I have made it home. It was really quite busy in there. I think there was some sort of group meeting, like older people. They were all kind of gathered around a table having a good old natter, so I couldn't really film an awful lot in there. But I did find a fair few books in there. So it was well worth my time going in and actually just having a look through. So first thing that I picked up was Jenny Colgan's Class, Welcome to the Little School by the Sea. I think I've got this on my Amazon list because it has been described as Mallory Towers for grown-ups, and if you watch my most recent Tuesday video where I was talking about the books that built me, that is a book from my childhood that I absolutely loved. So anything described as being like that but for adults has got to be a winner. Looking at the back, it seems to be a sort of multi-character story where they all kind of intersect, but I just thought it looked really fun. I think there's 2 or 3 books in this series, I'm not sure, but yeah, I'm gonna hopefully enjoy this one. Next up was an author I have not heard of before. Obviously Jenny Colgan's quite well known for women's fiction. This is Clara Christensen, Hygge and Kisses, because hygge is one of my most favourite concepts in the whole world, the Danish art of being cozy. And when I saw the title of this, I was like, yes, I need to at least read the back and see. And it does actually have characters travelling to Denmark, which I thought was sounding really fun. The lead character sounds like they are going through a bit of a life change. I was like, this sounds like it'd be right up my street. So let's see how we get on with that one. The next one, also a new to me author, but I couldn't resist because it just looks so charming. It's Helen Rolfe, The Kindness Club on Mapleberry Lane. If you know me by now, things are all very cute, charming, upbeat, are very much up my alley. So when I saw this delightful illustration, I was like, this has got to be a book for me. And it looks like a story between an older character and a younger character, kind of, you know, helping the other one to see the other's point of view, etc. Just looks delightfully charming, so we will see what happens with that one. The last one I got, I was having a look to see if they had any historical fiction authors. I read a lot of Dilly Court. I read some Rosie Goodwin, depending on the blurb, because some of her books get a bit dark for me. And I found this one, Molly Walton, The Orphan of Ironbridge. I know I just said I like things that are upbeat and cozy, but when it comes to historical fiction, I can tolerate it being a little more sad, as long as there is no real violence or anything like that, which you would be surprised in historical fiction. There have been some like pretty gruesome, obviously they're not described in detail, but they are alluded to, and I don't like it. Being an orphan, that's the kind of level of distress I can handle. Most of the books I found in that library was set World War I and World War II, which isn't really my favourite. I prefer Victorian era. And this one is set in Shropshire in 1875, so in the right era. And it's a rags to riches story. It looks like the character starts off as a pit girl, which would make sense, but it's set in Shropshire, and then gets trained to be a lady's maid. So I think it's going to be a really fun one to see two very different worlds that existed in Victorian England, and seeing how she navigates rags to riches. So 4 very different books, but I am excited to dig into them. Lastly, I couldn't not pick up any non-fiction, because you know me, I love me some non-fiction. I fancied picking up some books about home interiors and decor and stuff. Just every so often I like to change things up and, you know, do little tweaks here and there. Nothing massive. You know, the biggest change I think was in here many years ago. We got all new furniture and everything, but I just like to change things up a little bit here and there with little bits and bobs that I find out in the world. Obviously no one has a home like anything of these books, but I like to take ideas. So the first one I picked up was Calm, Interiors to Nurture, Relax and Restore by Sally Denning. I'm very much about, as a friend put it, clean lines and pale colours that soothe. You'll see like white. We do have some art, but every wall in this house is white. Other than the feature wall in my office that I use for filming, everything is white because it's just soothing. And I'm just having a look to see if there are any good pictures, but here's some colour. So this book's not entirely grey. There is some colour there. Actually, our porch, we have like an enclosed front porch. That is not white. That has a beautiful Art Deco teal gold paper to it, which I do like. And I'm not averse to colour. I need it in small amounts for my decor. I prefer it more in clothing and things like that. So I picked up this one, and this one I thought looked more kind of fun. I mean, that looks great for all the clean lines and stuff, but this one I thought was different, and it's called Life Unstyled: How to Embrace Imperfection rather, and Create a Home You Love by Emily Henson. And this one, as you can see, is, I wouldn't say the total opposite of the other book, but it's a bit more, you don't have to have everything completely perfect, because none of us live in a show home. And I think it's more about, you know, working with what you have and having things not be so kind of perfect, like you can see here with bookshelves and things like that. So I think that is also a good one that I will enjoy and get some different ideas from. So that is pretty much it for today. I am almost done with Act 1. I will be finishing the last 2 chapters tomorrow, because I don't write on Tuesdays because I film for YouTube. And I've only got so many spoons, and by the time I have finished scripting, getting ready, filmed, edited, there's no way I could write anything of any good substance. I couldn't write anything that was good to read, essentially. So I hope you have enjoyed this vlog and actually getting out of the house with me for once. I am a homebody. I really don't go out very much at all, but that for the most part suits me. But the library is definitely somewhere that I will opt to go and actually enjoy it. Hope you've enjoyed this vlog. If you have, I'd love for you to hit the subscribe button down below if you haven't already. If you're new here, I upload a topic video every Tuesday and a vlog every Thursday where you just follow me around, much like this one. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.